Speaking of which, just want you to know.
Podcast Tonight presents The Culture Café with Will Love.
Well, that's what opening up a can of whoop-ass feels like.
Son, you just opened a whole case of whoop-ass.
Take a listen to this.
The show is just about to start.
Here we go.
Are you ready to do this? Let's take it from the top.
It is not for the faint-hearted.
It's your boy Will Love, and I'm super pumped for today's Culture Café podcast because I'm going back to my roots, not that I ever left them. I'm interviewing two fellow Jersey workaholics, getting the 411 from two very, very, very successful friends of mine. Soon I'll be speaking with Elisa Padilla, who just graced the cover of Hispanic Executive magazine, and who is the marketing guru behind the Brooklyn Nets, New York Islanders, and all things Barclays Center, which is hosting a ton of major concerts coming up that I'm sure I'll be begging to see. However, before we get to that, I'd like to welcome one kick-ass artist to the show. Skrizzly Adams is only 24 years old and has been described as Bruce Springsteen meets Kanye West. Signed to Atlantic Records by CEO Craig Kallman, the man behind Timbaland and Aaliyah, and vice president of A&R at Atlantic Records, Riggs Morales, the man behind Eminem and Juelz Santana. After going viral online over the past year, Skrizzly Adams is about to change the game with his first official single dropping this fall, and album to follow thereafter. Skrizzly Adams, how the fuck are you?
Will, I'm happy to be here. Super pumped to talk to you. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this.
Now, did the GPS take you through the hood again?
The GPS did take me
It
through
did
the hood
take you
again.
through the hood?
Yeah, I stopped at every traffic light, looking out for, the Remy squad in Patterson. Maybe I'd see Fetty Wap.
I know, yeah.
But
maybe at least get that out of it.
But no, I think it was school just ended, so I was going through all these school kids, walking through the hood. And,
oh, mini gangsters.
yeah, mini gangsters in training, fresh out of Catholic school, wearing uniforms. No, yeah, I went through the hood again. A lot of pizza spots in the hood. I was very tempted. Very tempted to get some hood pizza, but came to the podcast and
hood pizza's, well, it could go
it's
either way.
You bang for the buck is always the big asset there.
Yeah.
You have $1 pizza. Sometimes you can get even cheaper than that, depending what hood you're in.
Hood pizza in Jersey is definitely different than pizza in New York. Whether or not you're in a danger zone or not.
Zone.
In Manhattan, anything's good. Brooklyn, anything's good. The Bronx.
True.
But in Jersey,
Jersey City though. I mean, I don't know.
All right, let's
start back from
Going
moving
back.
off of the hood. Moving on.
Yeah.
From the hood.
So Skrizzly, I met in the beginning of the year before all his social media accounts were verified.
Yes.
And
the verification.
Before all the verification, because that's when someone's on the come up.
It's legit. No, what was it? Yeah, we met way back in the day.
Yeah.
You were working radio in Jersey. I'm a new artist from Jersey. Making the connection, we were talking, became friends real fast, all good stuff.
And when we were talking at the time, we were talking about how there weren't that many artists repping Jersey at the time, talking about how it could go either way with you. But now I feel like you have an advantage because fortunately, from the beginning of the year when we first started talking about this, you have Fetty Wap just came out.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Girl Halsey, I just been hearing so much about, and she's amazing. I mean, she's just so awesome. She came out doing huge numbers her first week. She kind of reps Jersey. Her album's called Badlands. Maybe, paying tribute to Springsteen. I don't really know. But she's super cool. And I just think it's a really ripe time for, me to come out. I'm very excited. I have a new single coming out very soon. Being that male New Jersey figure, I'm just excited to fill that void and really carry the flag on my back.
Yeah, and I feel like timing couldn't be better because before 2015, who's the last dude repping Jersey? Springsteen?
I mean, yeah, Bon Jovi from the 80s.
Springsteen, Bon Jovi. Yeah. But now we have, Fetty Wap. It has
Absolutely.
What, 4 singles in
Four
the
singles
top 10,
in the top
20 right now?
Top 20, yeah, I think it's...
And then we have you coming out, and male artists are it now. You got Nick Jonas, you've
For
got
sure,
Shawn Mendes, Bieber's back.
But the bigger one, I think, is all the singer-songwriters. But more so, I mean, I kind of fall somewhere between the top 40 and the singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
And the big thing, to my advantage, that I know has helped me kind of move forward along, is that there are so many non-American British songwriters. Ed Sheeran's from England.
Exactly.
Vance Joy's from Australia or New Zealand. Hosier's from Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland. I love them all, but they're all imports.
Yes, they're all imports. We need that domestic music.
Yeah, we need that realness, that rawness.
Well, exactly. So I think I'm definitely here, and I'm very excited to be the American, speaking the truth, bringing the message out. Get your fist in the air, and get you riled up. So
people could tell when they see you live, you write, you produce.
Sure.
You're not singing someone else's
songs.
shit.
No.
So,
every word I say, every word I sing comes from me. I mean it. I will scream it in your face. I
And
will
when-
lose my voice doing it, but it will connect. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it.
When you listen to the tracks back, you could tell, and like when people see you live, like you could tell, like
I appreciate
you're
that.
invested in the music.
Very much invested. Really, it's my life. It's my blood, sweat, and tears. And
It's been sort of a process. So let's
Always a
talk
process.
back when what was it, last year you had released your first EP,
Yes.
and Perez Hilton, of all people,
yeah, really random one.
picked it up.
Because I mean, I didn't expect him of anyone to.
How did that happen?
To this day, I really don't know. I don't know because I mean, you got to realize
You said you heard that he was like a fan of yours too. Through the
I
grapevine.
heard, through the grapevine, I heard he was a fan of mine, and we still talk on Twitter, which is awesome because he has like 6 million followers, and if I'll hit him up, he'll respond. And total gentleman. I've never met the guy. I mean, I really don't know anything about how we're connected.
Well, when Perez Hilton pays attention to you, you know you're a big deal.
Which is great, but you gotta understand also that's like all the people, like all the media people below
trying to get
him.
his attention.
No, the thing with me was so we're like.
But you weren't even trying.
No, I was not trying at all. I didn't
pitch
pitch him at all. I was trying to get the people way below him, and everyone was
Yeah.
ignoring me.
But sometimes
and then
it works
Perez
that
and someone,
way.
yeah, of course, like all these middle people just ignore me. They didn't get it. They think I don't get this music. I don't know what Skrizzly's doing. Whatever. And then I wake up one morning and Perez is tweeting at me saying like, "This is a hit," and I'm like, "Awesome, this is great."
Yeah.
So getting that kind of cosign was good love. That was really
Because everyone's
really
trying to get
early
his
on.
attention. I'm on Twitter, like on my timeline. I
yeah.
see. I'm not saying any names. All these like
no name dropping.
bloggers and other people that are like begging for his attention, and he just gave you it straight out of the blue.
Out
Like
of the
you didn't
blue.
even go looking for it.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know how often he does. He'll post like I heart this song, and he'll say everyone check it out, and he'll give a description. I think he like compared me to the Black Crows, or I don't even remember, but it was a cool description. I'm honored for everything he said. But everyone he does is like usually a signed artist or like someone significantly bigger than me. I had nothing, no reputability to my name other than that. I put a song on the internet. I produced it. I wrote it. I was just some schmuck living in my parents' basement. There was literally nothing to it other than that he liked the music. So I gave him serious credit for that.
Yeah.
He has he has a reputation to watch. He's a big company. He's a respected figure, and him to take a chance, especially when no one else was taking a chance. No one. He was like, "This is really good. Everybody, check it out." And that didn't blow things up by any means, but it gave it a really nice like stamp of approval. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not full of shit. Maybe I know what I'm doing to some degree. But yeah, a lot has happened since then, and I'm really grateful for what Perez has done. He seems to still kind of be in the loop.
And you're very humble. So like
Try to
I've got to do the name drop in here.
Okay.
You were signed to Atlantic Records by Craig Kallman, CEO of Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
And Riggs Morales.
Yes, he's the head of Urban. He worked at Shady. He saw like.
And these are the guys behind some big names.
Superhand,
Eminem, Bruno Mars, Aaliyah,
it goes
Timbaland.
on for days. The amount of people they've all worked with. Then another guy, Pete Gambarg, over there is the head of A&R. He works with me. They're all big fans of the music, and for that I'm super grateful. I'm super blessed, and they're not like they let me be an artist.
So you have creative control, essentially.
Creative control, which is such an amazing. They're there to inspire. They're not there to hold my hand and say, put on a tutu and sing dance pop. Don't do that bullshit. No, it's nothing like that. They're like really harness the energy of, think what would have Tom Petty done? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's really kind of more philosophical things. I'm just really grateful for that. We're all really excited about the album. It's coming together. As of this moment of the podcast, I'm at the 95% of the album, and 5% more. We're going to bring her home. But
next time when it comes out, we're going to have to get drunk.
Yes, we will. It's months away.
I just did a podcast with Brandy Glanville from Beverly Hills Housewives.
Oh, okay.
She has a wine out.
Oh, that's great.
So I was drunk throughout the whole interview.
That's great. Probably was a great interview.
Yeah.
That's magic. I like
Very explicit. I'll just put it that way.
Well, thank God for podcasts. You can curse and say all types of fucked up shit.
But so these guys, these big guys, they all believe in you. The heads of Atlantic Records. That has to be a blessing. Where are you guys at now? What are you working on now?
For sure.
Single album. What's the 411?
For
as
sure.
Mary J would say.
Okay, I like that. The 411, as Mary J would say. Right now, I'm going to keep it ambiguous, just for the sake of keeping it ambiguous. Like I said, the album's almost done. We're all really, really excited about it. Still a long ways until that comes out, but I just can't express enough how excited I am about it. When it comes, y'all will be very happy. Right now, new music, I'm not going to say what, coming very, very soon.
This fall?
It'll be here this fall. And I'm just coming back. You gotta understand, I released music completely independently, merely putting music on the internet last year on my own. And right now I'm coming out as a signed artist, as someone who's now verified.
On a major label.
Yes, who has a following. You know, the sky's kind of the limit. This could flop on landing, or this could shoot right at the charts. We have no idea. Got a lot of great songs. Ready to hit the ground running, excited for people to hear the message I have to say. And the one thing I can say is I truly believe in all the music that's coming out. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, blood, sweat, and tears. Everything that's coming out came from me, and it's nothing but the truth, so help me God. So I hope y'all enjoy.
And there's no filler shit. Do you hear that?
No,
That's what he's
no
basically
filler.
saying.
There's no filler.
It's not going to be one of those situations where you go out and buy the album or you download the album and the first single's good and the rest suck.
No,
everything's good.
not. Absolutely not.
And if it's coming from me, it's no bullshit. So believe it.
The love said it. Exactly. This is a 100% guarantee. So,
like you said, that's a very short time to get signed. Like, you post music and then like a year later you're signed.
Oh, for sure.
And
you gotta realize it wasn't like I was grinding for I mean for me it feels like a lifetime. Don't get me wrong.
No,
it feels
sure
like for me as an artist
yeah.
it always feels like a lifetime. But you know, I mean, I was doing music as a singer for. I mean, I remember I was explaining to Riggs one time on the phone. We were talking like we closed. I don't want to say when we closed the deal, but it was like, you know, less than a year after whatever, and I was like, you know, like I really just started being a singer like in February, and he's like, wait a sec, what? I'm like, yeah, it was like only a few months ago I started like, stop everything you're doing, I'm pursuing this. And only a few months later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all came together. Don't get me wrong. Everything has felt like a lifetime, and I'm eternally grateful. Things have moved fast. The music has always been there for me. It always keeps coming through my head.
In such a short time from you got like a cult following, and then you started doing like all these shows.
For sure. I mean, it's still on a small scale, but I think the big thing it's proved to people is that my music, everything's like a healthy amount that it proves people listen to it. I mean, it was all guerrilla exposure, you have to realize, too. So that through guerrilla exposure and through X amount of spins, I'm able to retain people that are loyal and people that, for some amazing reason, care what I have to say. And, you know, I think the music is honest, so that they trust me and they believe in me, and they don't take me too seriously, but they take me seriously enough. And so we're hoping that, you know, once things are on a bigger scale, once we're able to get bigger exposure, get this music on bigger platforms, that, you know, the retention ratio is just as big. And if we're able to get, you know, this much out of this small amount, make that small amount massive, and hopefully we retain massive. I mean, for all we know, it could be a flop on landing, but I don't think it's gonna.
Well, don't say that.
I know. No, I'm very excited. Knock on wood.
I have it myself. Like, I have trouble being confident sometimes,
of course,
because when things fuck up, like I don't like getting happy about things because I'm afraid it's gonna be taken away from me.
I'm in the same boat. I'd rather like pleasantly.
I've had too much loss in my life.
Pleasantly is dealing with too much. Yeah, we do half glass empty. So whenever we see it half full, we're like, holy shit, we're killing it.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't want to let that like surprise success get to your head either. So keeping it healthy, it's keeping things realistic at the end of the day. As long as we're keeping things realistic, you know what assets you have. Like I said, like I know the music I have, I know the system I'm working within, I know the success I've had, I know the successes I've completely missed. Like, I mean, I'll be transparent with you. Like, there's tons of things on a daily basis that like so many people don't understand my music and don't get what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, fuck them. But nah, I can't be like that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand this is a growing process. Like, Take Me to Church, I think, took 18 months to break. And now you hear on the radio, it's like, we love Take Me to Church. It's a smash.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like Disclosure and Sam Smith Lash.
Oh, absolutely.
I discovered that on SoundCloud back in 2012.
No, it's what I was always telling you.
And last year, 2 years later,
it
was
classic,
like the song of the...
Stories take a while to break, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with something so new and so different. So that's why, like I said, like, I give Perez so much credit. I give Craig so much credit for understanding something so different. And if you don't know my music, people always say it's like a jambalaya of all these different things. You've been described as a cross between Kanye West and Bruce Springsteen. I think that's the best description. So yeah, it's been super triumphant, super anthemic Americana music. But I don't want to say it's like there's trap drums, because that's gimmicky, but it's a very big hip-hop attitude.
I don't want to say it's like a cross between country and hip-hop.
People
but
say
on
it
the
is.
surface, it kind of is.
Sure. I mean, if you were to put it... I mean, there's tons of that out there. I think there's a genre called hip hop, which is ridiculous. And that's super gimmicky. I've never heard of that, to be honest with you. Look it up. You're going to be very dissatisfied. I'm sure. No offense to the hip hop artists, but I mean, like, that's what I don't want. I mean, it's not what it is, but it's kind of what it is. But when you hear it, it's like Nirvana. It's like it's its own thing. It just makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not making music to be like, well, we need 20% country, 10% rock and roll, 15% hip hop. Let's throw in 5% of EDM, and then there's no checklist, there's no process to it. I make music for the sake of making music. So I hope it comes off genuine that way. But definitely, it's a hodgepodge of things, which works to my advantage. I mean, it could be on so many radio stations, it could be on so many platforms, but most importantly, it can connect with so many different people. All types of ages, urban, rural, all walks of life. I think the choruses and the melodies, everything works in a very raw kind of way that you can be in different language and you'll still resonate with you. So that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah, completely. Which brings this to mind.
Hit me.
I'm going to start shooting out the questions here.
Let's do it. The questions, hit me.
3 artists that you'd love to collaborate with right now.
3 artists?
On a record. Shoot.
Number 1, Taylor Swift. Absolutely. Okay, we're not going to go into Taylor Swift. Number 2, can it be artists or producers? Artists.
Yeah.
Let's do artists. It's artists. Okay, number 2, just to juxtapose it real fast, Kanye West. Absolutely. And number 3, can it be Mick Jagger and Keith Richards? Or,
yeah,
so
sure.
Let's do the Rolling Stones. Just me and the Stones together, just kind of.
Now you have me intrigued though. You said producer. Is there a specific producer you'd like to work with?
Oh, Rick Rubin, absolutely.
Okay,
Rick Rubin's,
he's a hitmaker for sure.
Yeah, it's not even the hitmaker.
And let me correct myself.
No,
diversified hitmaker.
Diversified hitmaker. He's the most transparent one. He doesn't take you and put his color on you. He takes you and makes you the best you. You know what I mean? He's like a coach. He's like a song coach or a coach.
That's how he's been described.
A spiritual guide. And just being in the room with him, it'll force me to bring my A game, let alone all his coaching and stuff. So
speaking of which,
yes, sir.
Are there going to be any collaborations on the record?
There may be. There may not be. I cannot say anything at the moment. But I'm very excited about the record. That's all I'll say.
What song are any of the songs that people have heard over the past year that have sort of gone viral on the web going to be on the album?
Yes, sir. There will be. I don't want to say which ones.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell a big story. Stains is the beginning of that story. I'm not straying away from it, but I'm not I'm not adding filler to Stains, or I'm not using Stains as filler. No, everything's kind of one. And as I'm releasing music, it's going to kind of evolve and tell this story. And a lot of the songs on there will make their way to the next one. It's like seeing your kids grow, you know?
Yeah, of course.
He's in 3rd grade. Next thing you know, he's in college. Next thing you know, he's getting married. I'm 24 years old. I don't have kids that have gotten married. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I imagine it's kind of like that.
It's a process.
It's a process, and I'm watching all these. Like, I really care about the music I make, so every song holds weight, and they're going to kind of reinvent themselves in certain ways. I don't want to say which ones, but it's all going to make a lot of sense, and I'm super excited about it.
Do you have any shows coming up?
No shows at the moment, but once this record comes out, we're going to be hitting the ground running. So 2016, Skrizzly Adams everywhere. Get excited. About to rock and roll.
Now, where could people in the interim, until the album drops and we got this single on the airwaves, until then, where could people hear you?
Absolutely. Regarding the music, I'm on Spotify. Go to Spotify, search Skrizzly Adams. If you don't know, that's SKRIZZLY ADAMS. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on YouTube. Stream me all day there. Share it on your Facebook. Tell your friends about it. Tell your mother about it. You know, your aunt. I'm also on social media. I'm super active. Instagram at Skrizzly Adams. Twitter at Skrizzly Adams. Facebook at Skrizzly Adams.
Look for the blue check.
The blue check. See the blue check mark? You know it's legit.
I'm clearly obsessive with that. I want that blue check.
We're going to get you that blue check.
So if you got Perez Hilton's attention as an unsigned artist,
yes, sir.
Lord knows
the
attention you're going to get now.
Exactly. Well, I'm just excited to kind of be out there, to be on a platform where people know. People are more willing to invest their time and attention knowing that a major corporation has invested in you. Yeah. That makes sense.
And especially the people you have backing you, too.
Yeah, so it's a certain kind of legitimate, the blue check mark. It's all about it's the blue check mark. People are more willing to, and I'm just excited for people to give my music a chance and take it in, and, you know, I'm just more excited that once we hit this bigger scale to see what different kind of walks of life are going to interact in what kind of different ways. Like, I'm a numbers guy, but, you know, I want to see the quantitative, and I want to see, you know, the qualitative also. Like, you know, like,
of course, yeah.
Like what different people I thought were gonna like it, were like they didn't understand it in this way, and that's totally cool. So I'm just excited to see, you know,
the end result.
The end results, yeah. The charts, the demographics, all that nonsense.
I deal with that shit every day.
Exactly. How I'm doing in the polls, you know. But no, I'm really excited about it. It's just kind of figuring out, you know, where Skrizzly Adams is going to start. Like I said, it could reach so many different age demographics and so many different, you know, markets. It's figuring out what's going to hit first and how we can pursue that, and how the story of Skrizzly Adams and this record I'm making is going to it's going to become a part of their life, and then eventually become, a part of the landscape of, American music, and then world music, and then, universal domination and everything like that.
This new single, which I'm excited about, but I can't say the name of it.
Yeah, we can't say the name.
Are you planning to release it on any radio stations?
Nothing in the works now. We're putting it out. I don't want to speak too soon on anything, but,
I mean, being I work in multiple formats, is it going to be sent? Are you targeting all formats, like top 40, hot AC, like country?
Can't say right now. Can't say right now. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to say on the air.
I'm really, if you were here watching this, I'm really trying to grill him.
I don't want to give anything away too soon.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I will say we're definitely going to push. When starting out, Spotify is going to be the main thing we're kind of hitting and approaching and trying to really get the Spotify. A lot of people listening on Spotify, and once those numbers are in a good kind of place, the trigger will be pulled. Let's say that much. So it has to reach a certain benchmark. So everyone's support, everyone's involvement. Once the single comes out, spread the word, and once we get to a certain point, the switch will be flipped, and bada bang, bada boom, we on the radio.
You talk about how, obviously I know this,
Sure.
The album is going to tell a story.
Yes.
What subjects are you going to discuss?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the overall theme, and it sounds like a cliche.
Is it going to be like a lot? I mean, obviously I know it's going to be something like our age, like young adults in general.
Young adults,
older,
being a young American.
Yeah.
Coming of age. Coming of age is the classic example. But I think when I kind of sat down and analyzed the songs and what I was writing, the main thing is that kind of the moment of learning the truths in life and love, and realizing that shit's real.
Yeah.
There's a Neil Young song. If you're a Neil Young fan, he has Sugar Mountain. He says, "Ain't it funny how you feel when you're finding out it's real?" And I kind of realized that all these songs are. I'm never saying I'm realizing it's kind of telling the story of somebody, this young person, which I think we all can resonate with. And even if you're 35 years old and you're having a kid for the first time, you feel like you're learning what's real in life, and you're discovering things for the first time, and it's learning that love isn't perfect and life isn't perfect, and
that's so true.
and every day is another triumph.
People need to hear this.
People,
shit.
yeah,
I think because that's a problem. Some of my friends, I'm not naming any names.
No name dropping.
They just. I mean, I'm not naming names because I care about them. If I didn't care about them, then you probably get the name wrong. But
talk shit about them all day.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that's what I do for a living.
That's what you do for a living, man. Come on.
But I just feel like a lot of it's with my friends, actually, believe it or not, who are older than me more so, that are in their 30s and shit. They think that if a relationship or if someone who they're casually seeing isn't perfect,
sure,
move on.
Yeah.
And it's just
too idealistic, and it's just not realistic.
Nothing is perfect in life.
Nothing is
perfect. If you think you're gonna find that perfect thing, good luck.
For sure. And I think a big. I'm not insulting top 40, but a big error in top 40 and a lot of the music out there is we're using art, we're using music as a way of saying, as a treatment, like the main idea with music is let's escape, let's go out and let's escape, because where my music's more about. Kind
it's
of
real.
Facing the fact that life kind of sucks, and we're gonna deal with frustration, but it's not preachy either. I always like to think of myself somewhere between
oh yeah, no,
Bruce is super Bruce is
he's a little preachy. You're not.
Yeah, but Bon Jovi is super preachy. I'm somewhere in between where it's I love Bon Jovi.
It's like you're talking about what's fucked up, but you're not trying to be Dr. Phil.
Exactly. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil at the end of the day. The best thing we can do is just tell the story, and The more we understand and the more we look the devil in the eyes, the more light we may shed from it, or the more we may realize it's all fucked up. But yeah, my goal as an artist is to just capture that energy, capture that emotion, and kind of say, fuck it, I'm here right now, and I'm just growing up. This is it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the overarching theme, and it has the album caps off in a certain way, which I'm really excited about, where there's a certain moment of reflection, and it's kind of like a spaghetti western where it builds up the tension, and it builds up the tension, and finally at the end you're at a Mexican shoot off, and then you ride off into the sunset. I literally based it on spaghetti westerns, how it starts off with the shootout, and then you ride off, and then it's a quiet moment, and then it builds back up to the shootout, and then it's getting closer and closer and closer till you're at a Mexican shoot off, and boom, right into the sunset.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this shit.
Okay, I don't want to build it up
I
too
told
much.
Skrizzly last time that I have tons of songs that I've written.
Oh yes, I gotta hear these.
I'm not trying to be a singer, but some of the shit is good.
He's got some bangers.
There's
no doubt about it.
There's one in particular that I really want to give him.
You gotta email this to me. I gotta hear this. That closet.
I'm not on BMI or anything, so don't steal it and then I get no royalties or money for it. Just convince the record to have you record it in a song.
That'd be great, man. If you got a banger. We're always in need of bangers. The world is in need of bangers. Don't ever forget that.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
But no, we shall talk about that off the air.
All right, for sure.
But no, this has been an incredible interview. I'm glad that people, I mean, obviously, you have like a cult following.
For sure.
But now it's like big time.
It's starting the big time, and we're all really excited to, step up to the plate and, grab the bat and boom, knock it out of the park, hopefully. So, yeah, I'm really glad to be here, Will. Totally. We'll keep you in the loop on everything.
Perfect. Now, before I wrap up, any last tidbits?
New record coming out very soon. Follow me on Instagram at Skrizzly Adams, Twitter at Skrizzly Adams, Facebook at Skrizzly Adams, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, all Skrizzly Adams. I will keep you in the loop on everything. I'm super excited about this new music. It's go time. 2016 is going to be a great year. And thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you again. And make sure to check out Skrizzly Adams because you definitely want to be in the loop on this one.
Don't you tell your father what we're about to do. I'ma put the car and drive it, lock it and 45 it out until it's me and you. Trying to keep myself from falling, trying to take another point, yeah, do another one forever till I.
Such a great time chilling with my boy Skrizzly Adams. You definitely got to keep him on your radar. Big things ahead, and you heard it here first. See, a lot of legit talent comes out of Jersey besides Felon Housewives and Tan Mom. Just saying. Moving on and keeping it in the Garden State, my next guest on Culture Café is someone who I am glad to also have the pleasure of calling a friend. Elisa Padilla is the woman behind the man, or rather men, just having graced the cover of Hispanic Executive and being the marketing genius behind giants such as the Barclays Center, Brooklyn Nets, and New York Islanders. Elisa Padilla has proven to me that no matter how diverse your background is, you can achieve and do it all. Elisa, how are you?
I'm doing well. Will, thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad that I have the time to speak with you today because, since we've met and we became friends, I've always followed your career and I'm so impressed with what you've accomplished, especially over the past couple years. And I want to get right down to it. And being as you are the marketing guru behind the Barclays Center, which has become like the next big thing in terms of concert venues, I definitely want to get the 411 today.
Okay. I'm definitely going to give you the 411, Will.
All right, so to start off, before we get into all this stuff that's going on today, your resume is beyond impressive. Let's talk about how you got to where you are today. What led to you being involved with, the Barclays Center, the Brooklyn Nets, etc.? How did you come up in this industry?
I fell in love with the sport of basketball as a young girl. My older brother played high school basketball, and our family outings constituted of going out to watch him play. So I grew up in a very traditional Hispanic household where girls weren't allowed to play sports. So we would go on to the sidelines to cheer my brother on. I fell in love with basketball at a young age, and as I progressed and got my high school diploma, went on to college. In college, I took a marketing course my junior year and absolutely fell in love with the concept of marketing. And that summer, I did an internship at Madison Square Garden where I was in the programming department because I originally wanted to be in television production. And ironically enough, I used to sit as an intern next to the marketing people, and I was much more interested in what they were doing. So after I got done with my college degree, I decided that sports marketing is what I really wanted to do. And as straight out of college, I landed a great position as a marketing assistant to the marketing director of the New York Knicks. And she took me under her wing, and she taught me everything about sports marketing. And she was really my inspiration because she was the only woman at the time in senior management.
Oh,
she was
okay.
very, very, very smart and so creative. And I thought, when I grow up, I want to be just like her. And that was my inspiration. And I just decided, you know what, she had an MBA, so I went back to school after working 5 years and got my MBA in marketing. And I really laid out my career well, where I wanted to have a diversified background to ensure that one day I would become a director of marketing for an NBA team. And sure enough, after working in sports and entertainment for 20 years, in November of 2010, I got a call from a recruiter who was looking to fill the marketing position at Barclays Center and the Brooklyn Nets, and I joined the team that November of 2010, and it's just been an amazing experience ever since. So as director of marketing, my first assignment was, okay, how are we going to move the team to Brooklyn? How are we going to go into Brooklyn? And how are we going to promote the new home of the team?
That was, for a first assignment, when you become involved in such a big project, that has to be sort of intimidating because there was a lot of controversy in regards to the Nets going from Jersey to Brooklyn. Yet you successfully led the rebranding strategy, and today the Brooklyn Nets, the Barclays Center, etc., it's in such a good place. How was that? Like straight off the bat, to do a project?
I have to tell you, when I joined the team, there had been people that, had been working about, going to Brooklyn, and it was, and to your point, it was a 9-year process.
Yeah.
And our approach, when I started, yes, it was very overwhelming and actually very scary to think, oh my goodness, what's the strategy to going in to Brooklyn to move this team, because we were technically only moving 13 miles. But I have to tell you, we sat down and we had all the research and we understood that Brooklyn Knights were looking to fill the void for their home teams because the Dodgers left Brooklyn to go to LA. So one of the things, that was one factor that we understood. The other factor that we understood is that Brooklyn Knights are very, very proudful people. So we did not want to insult anyone, right? And, when I joined the team, I just want to make it clear, when I joined the team, the logo and the color palette was already approved. So those were the two elements that I had to work with. And, after many, many strategy sessions, we came up with the strategy of making sure that the brand voice was within the borough, that we weren't coming into Brooklyn speaking at Brooklyn. That was actually the thread for the birth of transformation campaign of Hello Brooklyn. And our whole philosophy was to come into Brooklyn in a very, very humble manner because we wanted to become Brooklyn's home team. And it really, it paid off. It was an amazing 18-month journey to bring that to life, when we officially moved in April of 2012, but it really, really paid off because now, almost 4 years later, everyone has on Brooklyn Nets gear. The team is thriving. The arena is thriving. It's been an amazing journey.
Wow. I mean, it definitely sounds like it. And looking back, you've done it. The Barclays Center has only been in full existence for a couple years, yet was ranked in the top 2 of the highest grossing venues last year, according to Billboard and Venues Today. That has to be a huge victory for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to be part of a project of opening up an arena. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And the first year that we opened with 8 Jay-Z sold out concert. We had Barbara Streisand come. We had the Rolling Stones. We had Justin Timberlake. It's been an amazing roster of celebrities that have come through, and we are growing not only from the concert perspective, but from the boxing perspective, from the college basketball perspective. Barclays Center is really thriving, and it's really the must-play venue in the tri-state area, and it's very, very easy to get to. So while we do have competition in the market, the reality of it is that we're just another option in the hottest borough of Brooklyn right now.
Well, coming off of that, I'm a big music buff myself, as are my listeners. You hosted Nicki Minaj, the Legacy of Hope concert, September 2015. You've got all the best. Madonna, R. Kelly, and the Ariana Grande Prince Royce show I'm dying to see. With the Izod Center out of commission, do you feel like the Barclays Center has taken its place?
I don't think so. I think Barclays Center has just given people more options. Just in terms of, even with, the competition in the marketplace, we are just another option for people. So, and we know, and for music buffs, we know that if your favorite artist is coming into the tri-state area and you have Prudential Madison Square Garden, or Barclays Center to choose from, Barclays Center is just another option for folks to come to, and our experience is very, very different than the other venues in the market. So that's why we continue to see people coming back to Barclays Center.
It's unique, though, you have to say, how in such a short time frame, it's sort of really gotten on top of its game. Like, it's beating out the competition. I mean, it's sort of like, at this point, Madison Square Garden and Barclays Center now, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done, we have taken a lot of steps to ensure that we have and offer a really premium experience to our guests. So, for example, we have all been trained by Disney Institute, so we have exceptional customer service. We have a culinary program where, music lovers love food. At Barclays Center, we have a program where we feature over 55 local Brooklyn vendors.
Wow,
so you can come inside Barclays Center and you can have Calexico, which is a popular Mexican place in Brooklyn. You can have Buffalo Boss, again, a great chicken wing place in Brooklyn. You can have Brooklyn Burger. You can have Williamsburg Pizza. So it's the whole experience inside Barclays Center is we really, really infuse the borough of Brooklyn into that experience. So I would say that when you think about the competition, our competition can't say that. So it's really, really, it's put us ahead of our competition for those reasons.
Speaking of being ahead, you're currently featured on the cover of Hispanic Executive because of the fact that you are essentially a marketing genius. Now looking at all you've accomplished, especially as a triple minority, was it difficult to get ahead early on in your career?
I think the sports and entertainment industry is so competitive, Will.
It really is.
And what I can say is that when you really think about getting ahead and you really think about, okay, where you want your career to go, I can say that the reason that, I've gotten to where I am has been because I've been determined, and also because I have focused on my intellectual property. That to me is what has put me ahead, if you will, because I don't focus on the fact that, I'm the only minority in probably 95% of the meetings that I sit in today. I focus at the task at hand. So if there's a big project, and, I'm assigned to that project, that means that I've delivered, and that means that I can get the job done, and that's why I'm getting the project.
Wow, very good. Would you say one of the reasons that you've been so successful is because you didn't allow yourself to get sort of intimidated by others or by the outlook of your environment, so to speak?
Yeah, I definitely think that you grow as you start off in your career, and you're a young professional, and you learn along the way. And one of the things that I can say that, when I first started off in sports and entertainment, I can say, that I didn't feel that. I always question, I'm like, am I going to make it? And, nobody else looks like me. How am I going to get ahead? And then as I matured in my career, and I got more and more confident, I also became much more self-aware and very, very in tuned. So from an intellectual intelligence perspective, that really was the difference for me, was that I didn't allow anyone to minimize my presence, if you will, or because I didn't look like, the guys, I wasn't one of the guys, I didn't allow that to hold me back, because at the end of the day, when, you go to work, you need to deliver. And till this day, I still know that every time that I go to work, I have to earn my chair, even at the C-level executive, where I am today. I don't take that for granted, Will, and I think that's also played a part in my success, because I'm also, I don't have much of an ego, and I don't think that I'm better than anyone. And at the end of the day, all I care about is the work and the people that work with me. know that. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, you have great social skills, and I can imagine you're very easy to work with, and I think because you're so good at interacting with people from all different walks of life, great characteristic to have. I mean, I know when I first met you, we clicked, and I thought, and I love your energy. So I just think that everything that you had mentioned is very, very true, especially when it comes to getting ahead in such a competitive industry. Now, you actually taught sports marketing at New York University. I didn't know that before, and I was actually surprised to learn that. So how was that experience, and would you ever go back to teaching, essentially?
Well, I can tell you that it was one of the best experiences of my life. I was offered the opportunity because a colleague of mine was teaching at NYU, and he had gotten a promotion, and he couldn't teach the class that he was teaching, so he recommended me, and I went in and I interviewed, and I thought there's no way they're going to give me this opportunity, and they did. And it was the greatest experience of my life because I had the opportunity to teach and share my real life experience to students who were learning about sports marketing and who wanted to work in the industry. So while we were learning, from a textbook, if you will, the best case studies, just in regards to the top marketing programs, I was able to really give them real life experience because of all the years that I had in the industry. I will say it was very, very labor intensive. You think that teaching is easy, but the preparation that it took to teach a 3-hour class was pretty intense. And with my current job, with it being so demanding, I don't think that I could ever have my job and teach as well. But in the future, I would love to be able, maybe when I retire, I would love to be able to go back and teach at the college level.
Yeah, I could imagine it being intense. I come like my father's side of the family, they're all teachers, and I hear how intense it is to be like a college or a high school teacher. I can only imagine having your career and teaching at NYU of all colleges on top of it.
It was great, though. It was great. And it's so ironic. I actually had a former student of mine reach out to me on Monday because after he graduated from the sports marketing program, he went on to law school, and he is now a legal assistant. And we just posted a position within Barclays Center in the Brooklyn Nets for a legal position. And he reached out to me, and I was just so proud that, that he had that I had made such an impact in his life that he felt comfortable in reaching out to me about this job.
I love hearing stories like that, especially how things come full circle.
Yeah, it's great.
Now, you've been acknowledged a lot in your career. What has been the biggest recognition that you cherish today, up until this point?
Being on the cover of the Hispanic Executive.
How was you looked?
Being on a cover of a magazine, I don't think that it gets any better than that, honestly. I couldn't, when they called me and reached out to me and said that they wanted to do a story, they didn't say that it was for the cover. And when they came out to do the photo shoot with me, the photographer was very, very insistent that we do the photo shoot at Barclays Center. And I was like, I don't understand why. I don't understand what's the big deal. And she was like, no. And finally she said to me, she goes, Elisa, your story is a contender for the cover. I was like, there's no way. She's like, yes. She's like, you're a contender. And when I found out 3 months later after the photo shoot that I was going to be on the cover. I have to tell you, Will, it was such a humbling experience. And by the way, the magazine confirmed that I am the first Latina to grace their cover that is in the sports and entertainment industry. So that has been a huge accomplishment.
Congratulations. Major kudos there. Major kudos.
Thank you.
And you looked great on the cover, by the way. You look great.
Oh, thanks, Will.
What's next, not only for you, but for the Barclays Center as a whole? What could we expect within the next year?
Well, I can tell you that Barclays Center, you are going to continue to see great musical acts. You are going to see hockey at Barclays Center, which is new with the move of the New York Islanders moving from Nassau. You will see lots of World Championship boxing. And I think that, I think Barclays Center is going to be will continue to offer volume and variety. And for me personally, I want to continue to grow the brands of Barclays Center, the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Islanders, because for me, it's about continuing to build that fan affinity and to really give people an unbelievable experience when they come to Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Now, where do you see yourself within the next 5 years?
Will, that's a loaded question.
I know it is. I've been asked that question before, and I hate that question, which is sort of why I wanted to ask it, because...
Oh, boy. You know, I can tell you that I would like to see myself continuing to be at Barclays Center, and to really be fully matured, if you will, in my position as Chief Marketing Officer. I was recently promoted to this position within it's only been 7 months. So when I think about the impact and the growth that I can make in the coming years, to me, it's just being a much more mature C-level executive.
Wow. I'm very impressed. I mean, I was impressed with you from the time I met you years ago, and, we stayed in touch, and I just give you major kudos because you've accomplished so much in your career, and I think a lot of people could look at your story, and you could really inspire them, and they could learn a lot, too, from you and everything that you've mentioned today.
Thank you, Will. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm glad that we had a connection when we met, because I've been following you, and you're doing some pretty awesome stuff, too, so congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. My life. There's always something going on, but at the end of the day, I mean, you work, in the entertainment industry just as much as I do. I mean, I'm sure your work day's a lot more maybe intense, and mine is a little bit more crazy, but you have to agree that this is such a demanding industry, but it's so worth it in the end.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And working in the entertainment industry, you're on 24/7.
Yeah.
Especially now with technology, you're on 24/7. And, as I always think that as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, then it's really not considered work. And, the second that it starts really feeling like work, then it's when, you really need to you reevaluate what you're doing. But for me, it's still fun. I still love it. And even though I work, on an average of probably 13 hours a day, I still love it. And I'm still having fun.
And that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens from here on out, because you're doing great things all the time, and I know you're going to keep it coming.
Oh, thanks. Well, thanks. Thank you so much. And we definitely have to get you out to see Ariana Grande at Barclays Center.
I'm, dying to go.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I will definitely get you to the Ariana Grande show. We just added her second show, so I'll definitely get you tickets to come out so that you can experience Barclays Center yourself for a show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not serious. Thank you.
Yeah, no. It'll be my pleasure to have you be our guest.
Oh, I really do appreciate that. And we definitely need to, have dinner and catch up and everything.
Yes. And it's been, I feel awful because every time that I try and make plans, it's just like either this comes up or I'm working late, and like tonight it took me close to 2 hours to get home. So by the time I get home, I'm totally wiped. So, but yeah, I definitely want to get together with you.
Yeah, I'm so glad at everything. You're kicking ass. And that's why I wanted to interview you. And then when I saw the cover of Hispanic Executive, and I'm doing interviews, I've been doing them the past month for the podcast. And I thought to myself, I'm like, Alisa would so be perfect for this.
Oh boy, well, that's exciting. That's exciting. Well, thanks. Well, thanks so much and have a good night, Will.
You too. Thank you again. Have a great night.
Thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So talented, so inspirational, and so fucking normal. I love my boy Skrizzly Adams and my girl Elisa Padilla. Thank you for joining me on the pod today. Dudes and chicas, keep your eyes out for Skrizzly Adams' upcoming single. I can't say much, but it's the next big thing. And go to BarclaysCenter.com for tickets to see your favorite artists coming to the area, including Madonna, R. Kelly, Ariana Grande with Prince Royce, Mark Anthony, The Weeknd, and many more. I am anticipating the Ariana Grande and Prince Royce show September 26th, big time. I hope to have a solid date I definitely want to bring with me by then, because I enjoy taking my friends to these things, as I have for years, but I'm really over the whole single thing. Well, that's next podcast discussion. So until then, follow me on social media at WillLoveINC on everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, you name it. And check out WillLoveINC.com. Peace out, much love, and party hard.
listening to Culture Café with Will Lowe, presented by Podcast Tonight.